The moment Prince Harry started talking about coming back to Britain, the biggest obstacle was never King Charles, never Prince William, and never even the palace. According to people who have spent years studying this marriage, the real battle may be happening behind closed doors inside Harry's own home, and if what these royal insiders are saying is true, then one heartbreaking reality is becoming impossible to ignore. Harry may desperately want Britain back, but Meghan reportedly wants absolutely nothing to do with it. And suddenly what looked like a royal exile is starting to look like something much bigger.
The heat is on. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Charity disaster. Reputational disaster. Professional disaster. Financial disaster. It's all coming together.
At war over money. They need $10 million now.
Charles has made it very clear that he wants Harry back. You know, we saw it in Harry's book. Don't make my life a misery, but don't make my final years a misery, boys. Charles's dearest wish is to be reconciled with his son.
She made some very, very poor strategic errors, thinking she could profit from the title without any consequence, without paying the dues. And of course, in the end, I have no doubt there'll come a day when they both lose their titles, and their children too, because they will just be forced to go too far for their own survival, and at that moment, the same will happen to them as what's happened to Prince Andrew.
That one word, untenable, hangs over this entire story like a storm cloud. Not difficult, not complicated, not unlikely, untenable. Because underneath all the public smiles, anniversary videos, carefully staged appearances, and polished interviews, there appears to be a growing divide that nobody can fully hide anymore. For years, Harry and Meghan presented themselves as a united front. They left Britain together. They launched projects together. They fought battles together. But now, according to multiple observers, they may no longer be moving in the same direction.
Of course, there are constant bust-ups, I guess is the point that I'm making. And of course, there is tension over Harry's desire to spend time in the United Kingdom, but Meghan knows she needs to come back too. She's going to have to turn back on her word, and that is for financial reasons.
And that number changes everything, because when people hear about royal inheritances and multi-million-dollar deals, they imagine unlimited wealth. But money is funny. Even fortunes shrink when expenses grow faster than income. The California lifestyle the Sussexes built was designed for global celebrity status, massive security costs, expensive property, staff, lawyers, public relations teams, constant maintenance of a brand that requires attention every single day. The machine never stops running, the meter never stops ticking.
They need $3 million just to survive each year, just to meet their minimum security needs. So I really think we can't frame this in any other way other than a pay for play, a desperate, grab for cash. And I think that just comes down to it, that they really need the bucks.
And suddenly the picture starts coming into focus. One partner reportedly feels disconnected from the country that once gave him purpose. The other reportedly refuses to return to the place she associates with pain, criticism, and scrutiny. One is looking toward London, the other is looking firmly toward California. And when two people start pulling in opposite directions, even the strongest relationship can begin to feel the strain. What's fascinating is how many different voices are now arriving at the same conclusion. Not because they agree on everything, but because they're all noticing the same pattern: small comments, tiny clues, quiet moments, separate trips, different priorities, different ambitions, like pieces of a puzzle that suddenly start fitting together.
Harry and Meghan want to destroy. They might want to be there, but they want to destroy. That's why they're going ahead. That's why they're putting on smiley faces. That's why they're doing all sorts of things. But I don't believe in what they want to do at all. I think they're crooks and nasty people to try and win.
The claim is explosive because it suggests the biggest challenge facing Harry isn't royal rejection at all. It's the simple reality that the life he may want is no longer the life his wife wants. And when you start looking through that lens, everything else begins to make more sense. The money story isn't just about dollars, it's about identity. Harry grew up inside a system where status, duty, and service were everything. Meghan came from a world where success meant building something yourself, controlling your own career, creating your own opportunities. Those two paths managed to run side by side for years while massive deals kept flowing. But what happens when the easy opportunities slow down? What happens when difficult choices have to be made? That's where insiders claim the arguments begin. Because the cheapest version of Harry's future may be in Britain, the most commercially valuable version of Meghan's future remains in California, and those two destinations sit on opposite sides of an ocean. According to reports, this disagreement has already sparked serious tensions. Not because they don't care about each other, but because both may genuinely believe they're fighting for the future they need. Harry allegedly wants reconnection. Meghan allegedly wants independence. Harry reportedly sees Britain as restoration. Meghan reportedly sees Britain as a chapter she never wants to relive. And if those reports are accurate, then this isn't a simple disagreement anymore. It's a crossroads. A crossroads that some observers claim was visible long before the wedding, long before California, and long before the public ever suspected anything was wrong. What makes this story so fascinating is that the warnings didn't suddenly appear yesterday. Some royal observers claim they saw signs years ago, long before the explosive interviews, long before the California mansion, long before the endless speculation about royal reconciliation. According to people who watched this relationship develop from the very beginning, there were concerns that Harry and Meghan were heading toward a future where their ambitions would eventually collide. At the time, those concerns were dismissed as negativity. Today, those same predictions are suddenly being discussed with new seriousness. The reason is simple. The couple may still love each other, but love and direction are not always the same thing. During the years when they were aligned against a common challenge, their partnership appeared unstoppable. They shared the same mission. They shared the same frustrations. They shared the same goals. But now, according to several commentators, that alignment may be fading. And when a relationship loses its common purpose, every disagreement suddenly feels bigger than it really is. The most revealing detail isn't any single argument. It's the pattern. Harry keeps finding reasons to talk about Britain. Britain keeps appearing in discussions about his future. His charitable projects remain connected to Britain. His military legacy remains connected to Britain. His family remains connected to Britain. No matter how far away he moved, Britain never completely disappeared from his life. Meanwhile, Meghan appears focused on building opportunities in California, strengthening her own projects, expanding her own influence, and maintaining control over a future that doesn't depend on royal approval. And that's where observers believe the tension truly lives, not in public fights, not in dramatic confrontations, but in a quiet disagreement about what success actually looks like. Some insiders insist the marriage remains strong. Others insist the strain is becoming impossible to ignore. The truth probably sits somewhere in the middle. Yet what nobody can deny is that both Harry and Meghan seem to be chasing very different versions of happiness. One reportedly wants reconnection with the world he left behind. The other reportedly wants distance from the world she fought so hard to escape. That brings us to the event everyone is now watching. July, a date that may answer questions that endless interviews, biographies, and anonymous sources never could. Because when Harry returns to Britain for his Invictus commitment, the cameras will be waiting, not just for him, for who stands beside him. If Meghan appears at his side, much of the speculation immediately loses strength. The headlines quiet down, the theories weaken, the narrative changes. But if she stays in California while Harry attends alone, a completely different message will emerge. Suddenly, every prediction made by royal commentators gains new life. Every warning sounds louder. Every unanswered question becomes harder to ignore. And perhaps that's why so many people are focused on a single seat, a single appearance, a single decision. Sometimes the smallest details tell the biggest stories, not because they prove everything, but because they reveal where people choose to be when it matters most. The sad reality is that this story may not require a villain. That's what makes it so emotionally complicated. There doesn't have to be a mastermind, there doesn't have to be betrayal, there doesn't have to be some secret scandal hiding behind every door. Sometimes two people simply want different futures. Sometimes one person misses home while the other fears returning there. Sometimes both positions are understandable. And sometimes those differences create distances that become harder and harder to bridge. As July approaches, the pressure is growing. Every public appearance is being analyzed. Every absence is being questioned. Every photograph becomes evidence for one side or the other. The speculation machine is running at full speed. Yet eventually, speculation runs out of road and reality takes over, because no statement can compete with what people actually see. No carefully crafted anniversary video can erase visible distance. No public relations strategy can completely silence uncomfortable questions. At some point, reality walks onto the stage and speaks for itself. And that's why this story remains so gripping. Not because divorce is inevitable, not because separation is guaranteed, but because the marriage appears to be standing at a crossroads where every path leads somewhere different. One road points toward Britain, the other points toward California. One points toward the past, the other points toward reinvention. One offers belonging, the other offers independence.